Hi, this is John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com, and today I want to talk to you about a subject that basically ended up being spawned from a tweet that I had sent out and something I posted on my Facebook. I basically said something along the lines of, if you want to be successful, you have to learn how to keep a fire burning when there's no more fuel or when the fuel's exhausted. And I got a couple of responses back from that, basically asking the question of, well, how do you do that? And that's a good question. So I thought about this a little bit, and it came back to something that I talk about a lot, which is basically avoiding making judgment calls, eliminating judgment calls from your life. Whenever anyone asks me about how I'm able to stay focused and get things done, or they ask about diet and how to stick to a diet and how to get into shape, I always give them the same answer, which is basically eliminate the opportunities for you to make judgment calls during the day, and you won't make bad ones. And the truth of the matter is that we as humans are very emotional creatures. And so what that means is that we are very susceptible to how we're feeling, and that influencing our judgment. So we have bad judgment. We all have bad judgment. At least I know I have bad judgment. If I have to make a judgment call, chances are I will cave to temptation. I will make a bad judgment call based on how I'm feeling, not thinking about my long-term future. But the way that I'm able to avoid that pitfall, because I know about that pitfall about myself, and you should know it about yourself, is that I basically set it up so I don't have to make those decisions. And before I go into exactly how you can do that, let me give you just a concrete example so you can see why you fail at making judgment calls. So you're really hungry. You don't know what you're going to eat for dinner. You open up the refrigerator. You look, what do? Well, the more hungry you are, the higher chance that you're going to get something that's bad for you, right? And if you don't know what you're going to eat for dinner, you're going to have to make a judgment call. This happens a lot of times. We are feeling some way, and at that point in time, we have to make that judgment call. Same thing happens when let's say you decide to work on this side project. You're going to build some Android software that you're going to make a ton of money off of and put in the market, but when it comes down to doing it after work and you're finished your regular job and you're ready to work on your side project, you're like, I'm tired today, I'll do it tomorrow, I don't feel like it, right? You make that judgment call, and chances are that maybe the first few days or so you make the right judgment call because you're excited, the fire is burning, you have fuel, but when you run out of fuel, you don't feel like it, you make a bad judgment call. So the way to avoid that is to eliminate making those judgment calls throughout your day and as much as possible from your life. And the way that you can do that is you can basically not rely on making snap decisions. What I mean by this is plan out your decisions, make your judgment calls ahead of time. So, for example, if you were going to, let's say, start a workout program, instead of just saying, well, I'm going to start going to the gym more or running, you say, I am going to go to the gym on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m., and this is what I'm going to do when I'm there. I'm going to run on these days. I'm going to eat this. I've planned out all my meals. I know exactly what I'm going to eat all throughout the day, so I can just grab that thing and go, or make that thing, and I don't have to rely on my judgment. Same thing with your workday. Let's say you're having trouble with procrastination, you're making bad decisions, you're wasting your time, you're just not being effective. Well, plan your day out. Decide, I'm going to spend 2 hours doing X, then I'm going to move on to this. If you're having trouble getting a side project going, same thing. I'm going to devote 1 hour a day to doing this, and this is the time I'm going to do it. So if you make those decisions ahead of time, you're going to eliminate the need to make judgment calls, and it's going to be easier. Now, you're still going to have to stick to the decisions you make, so that's kind of my second point here, which is basically once you've made a decision, you need to pretend like you cannot unmake that decision. So if you've said, okay, on Thursday I am going to eat chicken and broccoli for dinner, you do that. You don't get to change your mind. You don't allow yourself to make a second judgment call, because the whole point of planning it ahead of time was to eliminate the judgment call. So you have to stick to your plan. And then the third part of that is really you don't quit on a whim. So let's say that you've come up with some horrible plan that you don't want to stick to. Something, you've overcommitted yourself. You're going to work out 6 days a week. Well, you don't get to quit when you don't feel like it. What you get to do, though, is you say, okay, this was a bad idea, and I'm not sure if I have the right mental capacity right now to make that decision, but I feel like it's a bad idea now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, in 1 week, I will quit. Or in 2 weeks, I will quit. Or whatever that time frame is. You're not going to quit today. You're not going to quit tomorrow even. You're going to stick out the remainder of what you've committed to, or at least set some date in the future when you're going to quit. This way, you again are eliminating that ability to make a judgment call, and you're much, much more likely to be successful. So just to recap, in order to be able to keep that fire burning when you're out of fuel, you eliminate judgment calls by making decisions ahead of time. You stick to those decisions as if they can't be changed. And when you want to quit, you set the quit date out in the future instead of allowing yourself to make a snap decision. And this works really good too with quitting a job. Like, don't quit a job just because you're sick of it or your boss ticked you off one day. Say, okay, if things don't improve by such and such date, that's when I'm going to quit. So that's my advice. Hopefully this is helpful to you. I did want to talk to you about a project that I've started up that I'm really excited about. I've been talking to a lot of people about careers and just how to basically market themselves and how to really figure out how to do better and get promotions and things like that, and even just how to get a job or get your first job. So I'm actually working on a project, and I'll talk more about this. It's still kind of top secret, but I'm going to be helping developers to basically market themselves and learn how to get a better job, to get promotions. So you can actually sign up for a newsletter that I have. If you go to my blog at simpleprogrammer.com, you'll see there's a newsletter sign up there, and I'll be putting up a new image on my site that will have some more sign-up forms, and I've got a new design coming, so you can check that out. So thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to check out my website, simpleprogrammer.com. Check out the podcast, getupandcode.com, for a bunch of fitness tips and things like that, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you like these videos, and leave a comment. Let me know what's going on. Let me know if you're liking this, if you agree with me, disagree with me, or if you have some other tips on how to basically keep the fire burning when there's no more fuel. See you next time.